By early 2014, Justin Bieber was generating global headlines for all the wrong reasons. His pet monkey was seized by German customs, he was spotted leaving a brothel in Brazil, and police raided his Calabasas mansion after he caused thousands of dollars in damage by pelting a neighbor's house with eggs. Then came the flashpoint. In January 2014, Miami Beach police pulled over a rented yellow Lamborghini going twice the speed limit and arrested the 19-year-old pop star for driving under the influence and drag racing. That arrest and the infamous smiling mugshot that followed crystallized a new public consensus. The sweet kid from YouTube was gone. In his place was an out-of-control liability heading straight for a tragic Hollywood ending. Before we break down how he survived this era, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments, what is the craziest Justin Bieber scandal you remember from 2014? Today, the reality looks completely different. He is happily married, holds a massive stake in a $300 million empire, and commands universal industry respect. How a seemingly irredeemable public figure executed that exact mathematical and cultural pivot highlights a specific, high-stakes shift in celebrity branding. We tend to view pop music careers as a random sequence of hit singles, but Bieber's trajectory actually follows a highly calculated three-part media narrative of survival and crisis management. To understand how his team engineered this massive reversal in public opinion, we have to look back at the original public archetype the media built for him and why it was incredibly profitable, but inherently fragile. Because the deeply polarizing Justin Bieber the public loved to hate in 2014 was a direct, inevitable reaction to the Justin Bieber the media packaged and sold in 2009. We can call the first phase of his career the innocent. Between 2009 and 2012, his entire brand relied on the narrative of a harmless, self-taught musical prodigy plucked from the quiet streets of Stratford, Ontario. His management packaged that safe, boy-next-door image for aggressive global consumption. His signature hair swoop, purple hoodies, and high-pitched vocals defined an entire generation's visual and auditory aesthetic. The financial scale of this packaging was historic. He dominated the charts, eventually becoming the youngest solo male artist to reach #1 on the Billboard 200 since Stevie Wonder accomplished the feat back in 1963. This innocent phase peaked around the release of his album Believe. The record solidified him as the ultimate, highly marketable teen idol, generating massive merchandise, touring, and physical media sales. But a brand built entirely on childhood innocence comes with a harsh expiration date. It generated hundreds of millions of dollars, while simultaneously trapping him in an impossible, suffocating standard that guaranteed a volatile breaking point as he aged. That breaking point triggered Phase 2, the outlaw. Between 2013 and 2014, the media stopped praising a prodigy and started documenting a teenage rebellion, eager to watch a pristine idol shatter. The friction between his public avatar, a global megastar constantly breaking YouTube records, and the private human experiencing the chaos of fame created immense psychological strain under the constant glare of paparazzi lenses. The dark reality behind the tabloid gossip was severe. In later interviews, Bieber revealed he was experiencing consistent emotional pain, deep depression, and active suicidal thoughts during this period. The media effectively turned a very real, very human psychological breakdown into daily mass entertainment. It pushed his brand, his mental health, and his entire life to the brink of collapse. By 2015, his team needed to execute a severe PR intervention to halt the downward spiral. To fix a broken image, the strategy required a counterintuitive move. Rather than denying his flaws, he had to lean into the negative narrative and publicly strip away his ego. The Comedy Central roast functioned as a calculated act of penance, utilizing public humiliation to drain the hostility from his reputation. It allowed comedians to tear him down so the public wouldn't have to anymore. Everything about his presentation that night was engineered to signal maturity and contrition. Dressed in a sharp blue suit, he physically and metaphorically buried the outlaw era on live television. Surviving 2 hours of brutal mockery cleared the cultural air. It exhausted the public's anger and bought him the goodwill necessary to release Purpose, an album that critics and general audiences alike actually wanted to listen to. By taking ownership of the joke, Bieber successfully reset his media timeline. It proved that weaponized self-awareness can reset a narrative. Which brings us to Phase 3, the redeemed hero. From 2015 to the present day, he successfully transitioned from an unstable teen idol into a grounded legacy artist, holding complete control over his output. The cultural culmination of this comeback is visible in his ability to draw massive, diverse crowds. He evolved from a pop punchline to a highly respected festival headliner, sharing stages with the biggest names in the industry. This rehabilitation has a direct economic payout. A stabilized brand makes the underlying music catalog a safer, more predictable asset for investors, as streaming numbers and licensing opportunities grow alongside public approval. Platforms like Royalty Exchange now allow investors to buy into these earnings directly, effectively trading songs like stocks. For instance, one catalog of his hits yielded a 42% return over 37 months, as the cultural value of the songs rose with his personal redemption. Bieber's most significant long-term achievement is this resilient $300 million financial architecture built on top of a salvaged public image. Of course, a successful comeback arc does not magically erase real human struggles. He has continued to face health issues, including a diagnosis of Ramsay Hunt syndrome that forced him to cancel massive touring dates. But look at the stark difference in the media lifecycle today. Unlike the vicious mockery he faced in 2014, the public now reacts to his vulnerabilities with genuine empathy and support. In the modern media landscape, audiences love watching a rapid rise to fame, but they are absolutely obsessed with a carefully engineered, hard-fought redemption story. So, did the Purpose era successfully change your opinion of him, or are you still viewing him through the lens of those 2014 tabloid headlines? Let me know down below. The child star curse has claimed countless careers. Justin Bieber survived his by finally taking the pen back and writing his own final act.